Good evening, everyone. I'm Laura Ingraham. This is the Ingraham Angle, and thanks as always for being with us tonight. Forcing Fani's hand, that's the focus of tonight's angle. Today, Fani Willis lost her special prosecutor, her credibility, and any hope for a political future. And Democrats' dream of drowning Donald Trump in a flood of legal cases is not working out like they'd hoped. And now, they're the ones caught in the undertow.
A technical win for Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis, but a massive indictment on her behavior.
It is a slap to the head to the prosecutor, but not a fatal knockdown punch.
It's highly unlikely that this will start before the election. This really did help the Trump team, not only in terms of delaying it, but also in undermining the credibility of the overall justice system and the prosecutions against Trump.
Judge Scott McAfee didn't take the entire load off Fani. He didn't flat out disqualify her from the election interference case. But the ruling he handed down today was filled with bad news for the Fulton County DA, and it was good news for Trump and his co-defendants. Let me count the ways on this Friday night. First, citing Willis's romantic relationship with her special prosecutor, Nathan Wade, the judge found a significant appearance of impropriety that infects the current structure of the prosecution team. So whatever happens going forward, right, the entire DA's office proceeds with a major black eye. Second, because Willis dug her heels in and failed to step aside from the case when her and Wade's relationship became public, the judge had to force her hand. She was ordered to either fire Nathan Wade or she and her entire prosecutorial team had to resign from the case. Now, late today, Wade announced his resignation. Third, the judge gave a striking rebuke to Willis's overall conduct. Although the judge gave her the option of staying on if she dumped Wade, he made clear this finding is by no means an indication that the court condones this tremendous lapse in judgment or the unprofessional manner of the district attorney's testimony during the evidentiary hearing. Now, Willis did not do herself any favors, and we talked about this at the time, when she marched to the stand on February 15th.
You think I'm on trial. These people are on trial for trying to steal an election in 2020. I'm not on trial, no matter how hard you try to put me on trial. I'm not going to emasculate a black man, but I'm just telling you.
I'm sorry, what?
I'm not going to emasculate a black man. Did you understand that?
All right,
well, I don't think we should discuss further.
Mr. Sato, next question.
Trying to, Your Honor.
The judge may have been overly patient with Willis during the hearing, but he was obviously saving his words for his opinion. He's had it with her grandstanding. Fourth, Judge McAfee thought Willis's church speech was way out of bounds.
I appointed 3 special counsel, as is my right to do, paid them all the same hourly rate. They only attacked one. I hired one black man, another superstar, a great friend, and a great lawyer. Oh, Lord, they gonna be mad when I call them out on this nonsense. First thing they say, oh, she gonna play the race card now. But no, God, isn't it them who's playing the race card when they only question one?
On those remarks, Judge McAfee wrote, the effect of this speech was to cast racial aspersions at an indicted defendant's decision to file this pretrial motion. And although the judge didn't conclude that the speech actually denied defendants' right to a fair trial, he described it as legally improper. A DA with basic common sense and respect for ethics would never have given that speech. Fifth, the judge opened the door to granting a gag order against Willis in this case. This is my favorite. He warned the DA not to wade further into the dangerous waters that she created. The time may well have arrived for an order preventing the state from mentioning the case in any public forum to prevent prejudicial pretrial publicity. Holy moly, gagging Fani. Now, I'd love to have been a fly on the wall when she read that section of the opinion. I don't know, she's probably crying racism, or maybe she made, I don't know, Nathan take her to lunch. I hope she paid since he's out of a job now. The faces of the Get Trump media types told the tale today. They see the Democrats' campaign by lawfare strategy failing, and they're worried.
He's used it to his advantage. As you know, his polling has gone up with every court appearance. We saw he was in Florida in court when he didn't even need to be just yesterday. So now this is more help for him in this political campaign.
But even as they see these cases backfiring, they're still banking on a jury saving them from a second Trump term, even after the election.
This case, if it goes to trial, will be on television every day. It's the only one that will. That is different in this as well. And it's also one, should he become president, that he cannot do anything about, because it's a state case.
If there is any sort of a conviction, if a jury actually convicts him in one of these cases ongoing here, if that could somehow shift public opinion in some way, but the longer these trials get delayed, the less likely it seems that there would be an end in one of these cases before the election takes place.
I mean, they are so desperate, okay? All this goes to show that the Democrats still have no real agenda to run on. They certainly have no track record of success to boast about. All they can do is hope to be saved by a Trump conviction, even if he becomes president. It's unbelievable. Otherwise, their agenda is essentially summed up by the acronym WART. Yeah, W-A-R-T. Weed, abortion, race, and transgenderism. How inspiring. And that's The Angle.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.